Good morning, modern steaders. What a chilly morning. 31 degrees out this morning. Coldest morning so far. Fall is here and winter will be here before we know it. I want to start up our generator today for the first time. I'm just going to see how everything goes. One of the first things I want to do is I want to shut off our DC disconnects from our solar panels to the inverters. Right now our batteries are at 88% charge. I just want to shut that off so the solar panels don't fill them up, so I can get the generator going, and then we can have the generator fill up the rest of the batteries and see how it all works. 1, 2, 3. No power from the solar panels going to our inverters. I just want to make sure that our batteries need some kind of charge so we can see how the generator works with all of it. The inverters should be set up to automatically turn on the generator when the batteries are at 30%, I believe is what it is, but we can manually start it. That's what we'll do today and get it running and see how it is charging. And then at some point, I should let it go down to 30%, like shut those off, let it go down automatically to 30%, let the generator kick on, watch everything, and see how it goes. That's like the best thing to do. So that way, if there's an issue, I can fix it beforehand or make adjustments, whatever we need to do, instead of having it go out one time when we're not planning on it to, and just thinking the generator is going to kick back on. So yeah, I'll have to do that at some point. Need to get in here and install a battery. I had to get my winter hat. It is chilly this morning. So this is the cold climate Cummins. It comes with a heated mat to heat the battery when it gets too cold. It does not come with a battery though. Good. I'll tell you what, it is nice and toasty in the house. The outdoor wood boiler does a good job with the radiant heat and how well we insulated stuff. Oh, I'm loving it. Check outside. We should have power. We do. It comes set up for fuel type NG, natural gas. I had to switch it to LP. And that should be good. You also have to go in on the backside and change a lever over. I did that when we hooked up the propane to it. I didn't have the power hooked up then, so I wasn't able to go in and change it from natural gas to LP. So that part in the computer is done. The other part was done when we did the propane. So now I just got to go and read and set this up because we can run it off of our cell phone. So I think I've got everything hooked up the way it should be. The battery voltage might not be enough to start this, but let's go ahead and start it and see if we can get it running for the first time. And if not, I will have to go run out and get a battery charger because I don't have one on hand. We've had that battery sitting around for a while now. Says battery voltage low, so I stopped it. I'm gonna go get a charger. All right, I did a little research and I don't think this generator has a battery tender on it, which seems kind of crazy. You would think that they would have a way to keep the battery charged. So if you know if it does or if it's an option you can get, let me know. I can get a battery tender for it. and then I'd have to have a plug out here and have it plugged into it. So for me, it would just be a lot easier if Cummins had a battery tender I could stick on this, make sure the battery is always charged. And if it's not, it charges it up, especially where I already have 110 volts out here. So let's charge this up. Let's go regular 50 amp. Let's just double check and make sure that the gas line is turned on at the tank. It should be, but I mean, we have a minute, we might as well check. All right, let's make sure everything is on. That is on, which feeds the regulator, and the regulator goes down and feeds the generator. So we should be good. Let that charge for a little bit before we try starting it. All right, so I took all of the covers off our Lion Energy Sanctuary inverters, and I want to check the continuity from the breakers and everything going back to the generator, that everything is good. In order to do that, I need to turn the breakers on. I just want to make sure that the wires are feeding correctly the way they're supposed to be. So continuity just means you're checking to make sure the lines all go back to the same spot. So, boom, boom, boom. Let's check this inverter. Let's go white to white. The only thing I don't think I can do is I am not long enough to do it this way. Yeah, my arm's not long enough. But now we know we have continuity going this way and this way, so it should be from that one to that one because they're all wired up to the same. All right, let's start it. Awesome. So it fired up. It took a little while. Not surprised. That was the first startup, so it has not had any propane to it. So that line was dry when they brought the tank. They weren't able to bring it filled up. So now we have it. So I'm just gonna go through, check a few of my modes. Let's go menu, volts, battery, fine. Remote. Let's turn that on. That is all good. That is still charging. Now I need to do a few things. I have the app set up for the generator, so I can either go in, remotely start it from that, and also I have this generator wired up for it automatically come on when the inverters tell it to. Right now the inverters are set, so when the batteries get down to 30 or 40%, it'll automatically kick on the generator. So I'm gonna call Lion Energy right now. I'll let them go in on the back end and they will adjust it, and we'll have them set it for whatever our batteries are at right now. So it'll kick the generator on so we can test everything out. And then once that's done and charged up, I will turn the solar panels back on. It seems crazy to be using a generator right now to charge the batteries when the solar panels are working. Hey, I got the generator fired up already once.
All right, perfect. Let me go change the settings.
All right, I'm gonna hit enabled right now. All right, so far everything seems to be working good. I just need to figure out with the remote start, it seems to be, I don't know if it's working or if it's not. So I'm waiting on a phone call back from a friend who works on Cummins generators, and we're gonna find out about that. But it's working. It was charging the batteries a little bit. I shut it off because I want to see if I can get it to kick back on with the remote start. And it's showing that it's working, but it won't automatically kick on. So I just want to double check on that. The app all seems to be working good. All right, so that is a big win. The generator is working. We just get some small tweaks to do. I just got to adjust it so the Lion Energy inverters will automatically kick it on once the batteries get so low. That's just a couple adjustments. I gotta do some research to do that. But before I forget, I want to turn the power back on from the solar panels to charge up our batteries. 1, 2, 3. Yes, I could hire somebody to do all of this, but I like to know how all the systems work. Say it's 2 o'clock in the morning and one of our systems go down, or it's a holiday weekend and something goes down. There ain't gonna be nobody to call. So if we can get this figured out on our own, I mean, granted, we're gonna have to call and talk with people or wiring diagrams to figure it out, but at least I will know what the issue was, and if we have something come up, I'm learning more and more about all of the different systems versus if I just had somebody install everything. Good morning, Modern Steaders. I think I have the generator figured out thanks to a help from a friend. Thank you, Brian. I think I was doing everything correct yesterday. I just didn't let the batteries get filled up long enough for it to know that this was going to shut off, and the way we had it programmed is correct. So I wanted to wait till this morning when the batteries are up over 90%, which they are now. If I go back, put the settings back in the way I had them, it shouldn't run. And if it does, it should shut off at a point when the batteries are completely charged. So we're gonna open it up and reprogram it. All right, we need to go mode. I had the remote enabled, and then yesterday when I turned enabled standby, the generator would fire up. So I didn't know if that was telling the generator to come on, but what I've been told is no, since we had the inverters set at a higher rate to tell the generator to come on. When I hit standby enabled, that's really all the settings we need. So yesterday I was doing it right. I didn't know it, if that makes sense. So now if I go down and I put standby on, it shouldn't start. Let's go next. So everything is on and the generator is not running. So it looks like we have everything done correctly. And yesterday I had it done correctly. Anytime I'd hit that, the generator would automatically fire up. And if I didn't have that on, it wouldn't. So didn't think you need to have both those settings on for the remote part to work from our inverters, but you do. Because now that our batteries are up over 90%, it's not telling it to kick on. So yeah, now we know that the generator was working. And I just needed to be a little bit more patient. So one of the features I really like about the Cummins generator is it has an app, and I have mine hooked to the app right now. And right now it's showing you all about it. If I can get notifications about the generator, and also, so right here I can go to standby. It says my standby status is on. That's the pod I didn't have on yesterday, but you need to have that on and the remote on. So this will come on automatically when the inverters tell it to, but also I can hit this button and I can start this generator from anywhere. So for some reason, if I come on my phone and I check my app and I see my batteries are down, because I can check the Lion Energy batteries from an app too. And if everything's down for some reason and it's not working, I can come over here, hit start. generator from an app anywhere. And I can also shut it off from the app. Technology, guys. Sometimes I love it. Sometimes I hate it. But for the most part, I love it. It enables us to do what we do with YouTube and videoing and all that stuff. And it makes the off-grid life a wee bit easier. So we can monitor this whole house from our phones and we can start our backup generator. I just think that's wild. And I really like that feature on the Cummins. I like it on our Lion Energy Sanctuary, and I like it on our Heatmaster outdoor wood boiler. We have that set up, or I need to set that up so I can check that from my phone. We ran the Ethernet cable. I just haven't taken the time to sit down and get it up and running, but that's one of the next things I need to do. So all of the big major components here at the off-grid property, we can monitor from a phone, turn stuff on and on, make adjustments, which is nice. So now that that is taken care of and we know everything is working the way it is supposed to, we need to go collect some firewood. It is getting cold. We have a whole pile of it, but we've also been working on a project. I'm sure you guys have probably noticed it. I just haven't said anything, and we got a bunch of wood lying around from that project. So we're gonna go clean that up a bit. We need the old TYM tractor for today's project. We got to take off our regular bucket and put on our grapple bucket. Oh, our friends, the wasps. They just love everything that we have. They want to build nests everywhere. I don't know, what can I say? They really like us here. All right, so now, let me lower the bucket down. And I gotta plug these in. There we go, one. Oh, that was too easy. Usually it seems like those never want to go on that easy for me, so I'll count that as a win today. It's looking good. So we've been working on cleaning up the smaller trees along the side of the driveway. And we found a nice apple tree here and here. And we saved some nice maple trees. When we get up there further along, I'll show you more. But the side of the driveway was just encroaching with small little trees like this. Like that. And they were still 20, 30 feet tall. So anytime we would get a big rain or windstorm or heavy wet snow, they would just all collapse into the road. So we're just trying to clean it up some, so every time we get a storm, we're not out here having to cut our way into the driveway. So yeah, it's looking good. And the best part is this is perfect size wood for a Heatmaster wood boiler. Some of them are a little bit too long, but these are perfect length. We can should be able to throw these right into the boiler the way they are. And it's not the greatest wood, but this time of the year when we don't need a lot of heat, we're not looking for a ton of BTUs, they will be perfect. I don't know if you guys remember this area or not. Over there is where the beavers had their dam and flooded out, and then there's another one over there. The one over here you can actually see now. We need to clean it up better still, but all this was overgrown with alders. Talking with the previous owners who used to own this part, this used to be a hayfield until the beavers destroyed it. So this is phase 1 of rebuilding it, at least to pasture. So we got all the alders down. I'd like to get this fenced in next year, or at least like a temporary fencing, and get some sheep down here or some cattle, and they will really help reclaim this pasture. But man, it is looking so much different now that we got a little bit of this cleaned out, and I'm just loving seeing every step, every phase unfold. There's gonna be a lot of phases. There's gonna be a lot of ugly duckling stages, like that's where this is right now. But it's just gonna keep progressing. So we have a lot going on, and it's nice to see the different things changing. But man, think of that, all grass and sheep and then the forest. Oh, it's gonna be amazing. It's gonna be a lot of delicious food. That's what I think. Someday, this is like a bigger picture, but I think it'd be kind of cool over here. I probably shouldn't say it, but have a restaurant, a farm to table restaurant. Have it here overlooking the brook and have a nice field out here once it's all cleaned up. And then just look into this. I don't know. I just think a nice farm to table restaurant with a lot of the food, at least the meat, coming from this farm, overlooking this beautiful area. Maybe it'll happen, maybe it'll never happen. I don't know, but I just think it'd be amazing. Yeah, it's just so beautiful up here. Look at all that foliage. I just love the look of the foliage with the evergreens. Just looks so beautiful. So yeah, let's continue up. We have a whole lot more wood to pick up there. Maybe the restaurant will happen, maybe it won't. I don't know. I always like to have big dreams, or maybe like a butcher shop / learning center. I don't know. You always got to have big dreams. You might not always reach them, but if you have little dreams, you'll get them. But if you have big dreams, you might not get there, but you'll get close, and it'll be amazing at what you can accomplish. So that's the mindset I like to have. Go big, and don't be afraid if you miss it, because I'd rather miss the big one and hit a pretty cool one and just get the little ones. It's scary sometimes. Don't let me guide you wrong. It's scary sometimes, but man, it is amazing. God is good. I'd say that's a load. Free heat, kind of. We still worked to get it, but it's already here on the property, so it'll be interesting to see how long something like that lasts for. Look at that, we still got a whole bunch of wood in there. I loaded that up yesterday. That's how efficient this thing is. I'm gonna put a few of these pieces in there just because we're right here. I can't waste the opportunity of being so close. So some of these are too long for in here, but some of these are perfect. Like this one. See ya. A few inches too long. We're gonna have to get better with our lengths. But that, perfect. One more load down. I think that's 3 piles on the side of the road in there. Got another load in. That was just one pile along the side of the road. We still have a lot to do. It's gonna be interesting to see once it's all piled up in one spot. How much firewood we have out of this. We're gonna have heat and hot water out of it. Man, would you just look at that? I love this time of the year. So I'm curious to figure out and to know if any of you have a wood gasifier outdoor wood boiler, whether it's Heatmaster or any other brand. But the way they work is they don't just burn the firewood for heat, they supercharge the firewood and suck the wood gas out, and they reburn the wood gas. That's why they call it gasification, because they get the gases out of the wood. That's what makes them super efficient. But what I want to know is, does the different kind of wood different for different gases? Like, I know hardwood is really good for burning for regular wood stoves because you get really good coals. Same for these, you get a good coal bed going. But is softwood just as good? Is it better? Is oak better? Is birch? Is popple? Just kind of interested. I think it has more to do with the wood gas than anything. We'll find out over time from our experience, but if you have experience, I'd love to know what it is. And also, like, I'm curious, like, oh, are you better off mixing softwood and hardwood, or I don't know, I'm not sure. It's definitely a trial, try to figure out what it is. So if you have experience, I'd love to know. I was gonna go down and make another trip to get some more logs, but I got to thinking, you know what? I should probably try burning these first before I get too much bigger of a pile here. Kind of looks like a beaver den. But they should burn good. I just want to try them before I bring too much more up here. The rest that are down there are a little bit further off the road, so they're not in our way for anything. But yeah, I think that'll come in handy having that pile right there. I'll probably have to cut a lot of those in half before I put them in the boiler. But other than that, they should fit good. It'll save on our other firewood, especially right now this time of the year where we're not calling for a lot of heat.